Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, woman dies in St. James crash. A woman succumbed to injuries she sustained during a motor vehicle crash on the Lilliput Main Road in St. James early Sunday morning. The deceased has been identified as 24-year-old Brittany McKenzie of a Rosemount address in the parish. Reports are that just after 4:30 a.m., the deceased was a passenger in a BMW motor car heading into Montego Bay from the direction of Falmouth when the vehicle hit a curb wall and overturned near the site of a hotel under construction. The occupants of the vehicle reportedly suffered injuries, but Mackenzie's proved fatal. The other occupants were transported to the hospital for treatment. However, their conditions are currently unknown. Overtaking attempt ends in tragedy on P.J. Patterson Highway. A 23-year-old man died after crashing his vehicle while attempting to overtake another car along the P.J. Patterson Highway in St. Catherine on Saturday night. The deceased has been identified as Chanel Boucher, a resident of Smithville, Clarendon. The crash happened at about 8:45 p.m. while Boucher was driving his 2015 Nissan AD wagon. Upon reaching the Portmore toll exit near Ferry, he reportedly attempted to overtake another vehicle but lost control. The car crashed into the median and overturned. Boucher, along with other injured passengers, was transported to the Kingston Public Hospital, where he died while undergoing treatment. The Ferry police are investigating. 94-year-old woman perishes in Spanish Town house fire. The body of a 94-year-old woman was found following a house fire on Corliss Road in Spanish Town, St. Catherine on Saturday. The deceased has been identified as Olga Taylor. Firefighters reportedly responded to a blaze at Taylor's home about 12:30 p.m., reports say. After extinguishing the flames, her body was discovered among the debris. Authorities have not yet determined if the house was insured. The Spanish Town police are investigating. Fire at the Spanish Town police station damages 4 vehicles. A fire of unknown origin broke out on the grounds of the Spanish Town police station in St. Catherine on Saturday, damaging 4 motor vehicles parked in the pound restricted area. The vehicles affected include a Honda Fit, Mazda Primacy, Toyota Probox, and a Nissan AD wagon, all of which were seized vehicles held in the pound. According to reports, at about 3 p.m., smoke was observed coming from the pound, and it was soon discovered that several vehicles were on fire. Emergency services were immediately alerted, and the firefighters were summoned to the scene. They managed to extinguish the blaze, preventing further damage. The Spanish Town Criminal Investigation Branch is investigating. Man shot dead in Vineyards Estate, Old Harbor. The St. Catherine South police are trying to identify a man who is believed to have been shot to death in the community of Vineyards Estate in Old Harbor on Saturday. Explosions were reportedly heard in the community at about 1:50 p.m. The police were summoned, and the man with what appeared to be gunshot wounds in a Honda motor car was found on Grape Avenue in the area. Kingston man charged with illegal possession of ammunition. A 21-year-old Kingston man has been charged with unauthorized possession of ammunition after police allegedly discovered multiple rounds of ammunition hidden inside the shoes at his home during an operation on Friday. The accused is Imani Daly, a merchandiser of Nelson Road, Kingston 13. The seizure was made at about 2:30 p.m. as police conducted a targeted operation at Daly's home, according to reports from the Constant Spring Police. During a search of the premises, police discovered 12 9mm rounds and 1.38 cartridge concealed inside the shoes. Daly was immediately taken into custody and later charged. In the Maria Dean trial, Zone Commander describes cops' roles in manning lockup. The zone commander with responsibility for Barnett Street Police Station at the time of Maria Dean's death took the stand on Friday as the prosecution sought to establish the responsibilities of cops on duty at the time Dean was fatally beaten. Deputy Superintendent of Police Kevin Francis, who is currently based at the Westmoreland Divisional Headquarters, was the Crown's second witness in the case being held in that parish circuit court. He was on sick leave in August 2014 when the incident occurred, but under examination from the Crown explained the general reasons for individuals to be placed in lockup. The senior cop said these include when they commit an offense against themselves or commit an offense against the state, or if so instructed by the court. He explained that the court would issue those instructions for individuals waiting for a court hearing after being charged, awaiting sentencing, or awaiting trial. The allegations are that Dean was arrested for possession of a ganja spliff and placed in lockup at Barnett Street, where he was brutally beaten on August 3, 2014. He received severe injuries to his brain, which left him in a coma. He died 3 days later at the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James. It is alleged that Corporal Elaine Stewart and the constables Juliana Cleavon and Marlon Grant were on duty at the police station at the time when Dean was beaten. It is further alleged that Corporal Stewart instructed that the cell in which the attack took place be cleaned before the arrival of investigators from the Independent Commission of Investigations. They are all charged with manslaughter, perverting the course of justice, and misconduct in a public office. On the witness stand on Friday, DSP Francis explained that while on duty, a sub-officer, a member of the police force between the ranks of corporal and inspector, is responsible for ensuring that a prisoner is properly committed to custody. He testified that sergeants and corporals ensure that the lockup administration and the prisoner information policies are followed. The lockup administration policy outlines the police's responsibilities from the time a prisoner enters custody until the point of release. This includes proper documentation of the prisoner's information, including addresses of arrested persons, reasons for arrest, property that was taken into custody, and the general well-being and acknowledgement of lockup. DSP Francis also explained that the administrative officer and the station manager are updated about a prisoner in custody. In his testimony, he also said that in addition to cameras being used to monitor cell blocks, other methods include written records made in a station diary by a police officer above the rank of corporal. The case continues on Monday, where DSP Francis is expected to complete his presentation before being cross-examined by the defense lawyers Dalton Reed, who represents Cleavon, and Martin Thomas, who represents Stewart and Grant. The Crown is further expected to call a third witness, a police corporal, on Wednesday. Excessive speeding has claimed 21 lives since 2025, says ITA. 21 of the 65 people who have been killed in motor vehicle crashes up to Friday, March 7, died after being in vehicles that were proceeding at excessive speed with no regard to conditions. This is according to the Island Traffic Authority in its latest daily crash report released on Friday, March 7. According to the report, 10 road users died because drivers failed to keep to the near side or to the proper traffic lane. 2 pedestrians died attempting to cross the road at the near side, while 11 died while walking or standing in the road. The ITA said improper overtaking on the inside lane resulted in 2 deaths. To date, 7 pedestrians, 16 motorcyclists, 15 private motorcar drivers, 7 private motorcar passengers, 3 pillion passengers, and 3 pedal cyclists are among those who have perished on the nation's roads as of March 7. The ITA said the 65 deaths overall have resulted from 60 fatal crashes. It said fatalities have decreased by 18% when compared to the similar period in 2024, while fatal crashes are down 14%. So far, pedestrians account for 26% of the fatalities, motorcyclists account for 25%, private motor vehicle drivers account for 23%, and the private motor vehicle passengers account for 11%. The category of road users deemed most vulnerable, pedestrians, pedal cyclists, Motorcyclists and pillion passengers accounted for 60% of all fatalities combined since the start of the year. Overall, passengers accounted for 18% of road deaths. The ITA said 82% of those killed since January 1 are males, while 18% are females. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.